What's up? This is a guide for map 10. It starts off with some sausage block, then comes some dirt, asphalt and grass, and then a reactor ending. The entire track is really about minimizing airtime in a bunch of different ways. At the time of making this video, the world record is held by Pustito Paco with a 29.415. He starts off with action keys 1 and steers to the right a little bit at the start. It is common to immediately get low if you are starting on a sausage block because it lets you accelerate a bit faster. Here we are looking to get through the chicane without airtime and without taking an unnecessarily wide line. To do this we want to go over the crest steering full right, which lets us keep our left tires on the ground. Then we steer back left and get as close to the road border as possible. It is tempting to drive a line like this, where you switch the direction you steer in the middle of the block. This will always lead to airtime, and while you will get a fast time to the first checkpoint, you will lose a lot of it right after because you are much slower. We aim to get our right tires barely on the other side of this green line. Then, as our front tires are just about to cross this line again, we steer full right and hold until we are all the way over the crest. Now we just steer left. Before the next dirt section we need to get ourselves some space by setting up to the right so that we can do as much steering as possible on asphalt since it has more grip. Now we want to use the bump in the transition to asphalt to initiate a slide that lets us take the asphalt turn without releasing or braking while still getting a tight exit for the next section. To get this we need the correct angle as we are transitioning on the far left of the road. You can use the cross between the shadow and the green border to line yourself up. It's easier to jump a bit further right, but it is also much slower. If we are too far right, we jump too high and lose time for that reason. If we approach too straight and way on the left, our car barely gets airtime and we won't be able to initiate the slide properly. This results in either bonking before the turn or getting a wide exit. We need to stay far to the right and Pustito Paco over-rotates a little, trying to get the turn. This jump should be done with an air brake. Now comes a left turn. For some reason this one feels harder than it should. We want to get relatively close to the green border and let the car run right on exit. Anix73, who was the previous record holder, gets this corner a bit better. He bounces off the green border and takes a wider turn and carries more speed. This almost lets him catch up with Pustito Paco. Now comes the big jump. You can see how spending less time in the air and more time on the ground accelerating saves a massive amount of time here. The way to get this is by staying on the green border, which will require a little bit of right steering on the ramp and then releasing in the air shortly. The transition to asphalt has the smallest bump on the green border, which gets you a smaller jump, allowing you to release for a shorter amount of time. Because the left side is lower on dirt and has to come back up so that it smoothly connects to asphalt, which is not lower in the middle, the left side of the car will be launched up after liftoff. We can deal with this by immediately counter-steering left. Be careful not to do this while you are still on the ground, else your car will just rotate out of control and counter-steering left won't make a difference. You can see the world record holder actually tapping left before liftoff, but then he taps right again to cancel any rotation. Without this last right tap, his jump probably wouldn't have gone so well. Pustito Paco does better at reducing his airtime than Anix, which gives him the crucial time he needs to take the record. To get the grass left turn, he takes a rather tight entry. He crosses over the writing at the edge of the road and gets close to the penalty area, after which he steers a bit more aggressively to cross the checkpoint as low as possible. Now he gets onto asphalt after reducing the angle of the slide to minimize speed loss upon transitioning onto asphalt, and drives the shortest road into the finish. The easiest way to get the author medal is probably to take a tight right and wide exit at the start. Then set up to transition a bit further right to give yourself more space. You can also tap brake to extend your slide if you find that easier. Losing 5th gear in the left turn is okay here. Just be sure you release somewhere in your jump so that you don't fly too far. Now just drive into the finish without releasing. Most of the time is saved on the airtime, so make sure you get that right. Alright, that's all I got for today. Bye.